Hi, Mark Lobanoff here, and I'm excited to bring you a brand new tool that we've added to Forces. What this tool is going to let you do is take the calculations for both the right eye and left eye, print them on a single piece of paper that you can bring into the OR with you. And so we've heard this from different surgeons. They'd like the ability to have everything, all treatments on one single piece of paper. We now have the ability to do that. It's very easy to use. The other nice thing about this printout with both right eye and left eye in the same piece of paper is that it's great for your records. So you can either scan this into your records for EMR. You can, if you're still on a paper system, simply place it in the chart. We also have the ability to store the treatment on a PDF, and we're going to very shortly be able to pull that PDF into EMR systems like NextGen and Nextech. So with no further ado, I'm going to show you how to use this. And as always, we welcome your comments. Anything we can do to make Forces better. We always like to listen to our surgeons. We get great ideas from you. Please reach out at mlobanoff@gmail.com. That's mlobanoff@gmail.com. You can reach out to me. All the best. So the first thing that I do is I double click the Forces Analytic Engine icon, and I have previously signed up for the cloud. You do want to sign up for the Forces Cloud. It's a great place to store all of your patient information, not only the treatment calculations for Forces, but also pre-op information and post-op stats and data on your patients. Because I've already logged into the Forces Cloud before, and I hit Remember Me, it remembers my email. I'm just going to hit Login. And now I'm ready to use the calculator. So just as before, like we always do, we open up an image. I'll open up a recent patient here. And exactly like you're used to, where we bring up all the information here. We're going to go forward, analyze the case, and save it. And as we hit save, it's saving it both to the computer's desktop here, which is good to always have a backup, but it's also saved it to the cloud because I registered and I logged into the cloud before I began. Now, just to show you all the features of the new printout, let's transfer here, upper left-hand corner, transfer to Wavefront Optimized. Let's plan the left eye as a Wavefront Optimized. And so by clicking this here in the upper left-hand corner, transfer to WFO, we have our Wavefront Optimized calculator. It's pulled in the patient's ID, date of birth, and name. It's identifying this as the right eye. So we need to click on this pencil icon. This is the edit button. And as we edit this, we can now switch to the left eye while keeping the ID number, date of birth, and name. Now, for this second eye, what we're going to do is put in, let's say, a prescription of a -4 with 1 diopter of astigmatism at, say, 98 degrees. We're going to change the target refraction here. We're going to say that we're going to be targeting some monovision in this patient. So maybe 1.5, -1.5 is where we want the sphere in our target refraction. Let's also, so we can just look at all the different features for this new printable right eye, left eye treatment form. Let's choose this as a PRK. You can always, of course, choose LASIK, but we're going to make this left eye a PRK eye. We're going to come down and we're going to hit Save Results. Now, it's not going to let us save it first. Why? Because the nomogram is saying that we should treat -2.55. And before you save, it requires you to round it to the nearest quarter diopter. Either auto round, let the software round for you, or manual rounding, where you as the surgeon get to choose and round it. Now, why do we make you round before we save? And it's because you have to enter, what we want you to get in the habit of doing is entering in what you plan to treat with. And of course, the Wavelight laser in WFO mode only lets you treat in quarter diopter steps. So I'm going to hit the manual here, and I'm going to change this myself to 2.50. And now I'll hit Save Results. And they want a flap creation method here because I switched it from PRK to LASIK. Let's go to PRK for this. And we're going to choose the method that I'm removing the epithelium. Am I using an Amoyals brush, Orca? Am I doing a transepithelial ablation? No, I'm using alcohol to remove the epi. So I'm in a quarter diopter here. I'm going to hit Save Results. It saves it both to the desktop results folder, but also to the cloud. Now I'm ready to treat this patient. I'm ready to print out the actual surgical record. So what do? Well, right here on Wavefront Optimized Calculators, open on cloud. If I was still on the classic Contura module, I'd use open on cloud here. Either one works. As you click that, it brings you right up to the patient's record in the 4Cities cloud. So here, this is the registration. We're logging into the 4Cities cloud. And we're in this patient's folder under the 4Cities cloud. What I want to do is go to reports right here. I'm clicking reports, clicking on surgical plan. Now, you can say if sometimes I've got a patient and I've first ran them through and I've calculated what the Contura treatment would be, and then maybe for that same right eye, I've also, just to see what it would look like, also calculated a way for an optimized treatment calculation. So here, before we print out the actual final surgical plan, you've got to decide which one you're going to use here. And so what I'm choosing now is the Contura for the right eye and the Wavefront optimized plan for the left eye that we just had calculated. We're going to run the report. What do you see on this report? Well, it's pretty nice. You can see that the right eye is going to be treated with Contura. You can see the treatment that was advised by 4Cities, that we're doing LASIK, that in this case I'm using a Zimmer to create the flap. The flap diameter that I've chosen is 9.0 and 100 microns. Now if I decide to change that, I can. There's a drop-down menu and I can change exactly which flap that I'm going to be choosing. Let's say I'm at my other center. I've got my FS200 there. I can always change this. And really, I've confirmed everything I need to for that right eye. Now, if I'm not sure about something, we've got some helpful information that's been pulled in too. So what was this patient's manifest refraction? What did that look like? Well, I can look downwards and here it is. What is my target? For this right eye, I was targeting planosphere. And what is the optical zone for the LASIK treatment that's about to be applied? Then finally, just as another confirmation, we list the flat K, which is the anterior minus cylinder. We want to do that because Contura treats in minus cylinder. So sure enough, 5 degrees, 4 degrees, everything here matches up very well. We've got the patient's name, how old they are, date of birth, that we're planning a distance, or in this case, as you saw, what we're doing is we're doing monovision. So I'm going to choose monovision. This is a primary treatment. This is not an enhancement. Left eye, Wavefront optimized. This is what the 4Cities advised calculation was. We're doing a PRK in this eye using alcohol to remove the epithelium of about 50 microns. Got our manifest refraction here, and it's nice to see that we know that this is the near eye. We're doing monovision, and sure enough, minus 2.5, minus 4, I realized that yes, we're going to leave some myopia in place for that monovision. Here's our target. We're targeting minus 1.5, so you can easily see the information that you need. And at this point, you can simply hit print report, and it's going to print out to the printer that's associated with your computer. You can then take this printout into the laser room with you. What I do is I simply plan all the treatments ahead of time for the day, print them all out. They're brought into the operating room, and this is all I need. I no longer have to bring any paper into the operating room, into the laser room with me. The next step, which will come in a couple months, is for those of the people who want one, we're going to offer a monitor. And there'll be a monitor that's sitting on the WaveLight laser, right next to the WaveLight laser's monitor. And this monitor will be able to bring up this exact screen. So rather than having a paper printout of this, you'll actually have a monitor that's showing you this information in real time, and you'll be able to compare what has been entered into the treatment laser and make sure it matches exactly what's on your plan. So I hope that you find this feature helpful. It's been really great to have this and use this in our own LASIK suite, and I think that you'll find that this is a really nice addition. It's also a good way for you to keep track of what did you do for that particular patient that day. Were you planning mono? Was this a primary? Was this an enhancement? This can be printed out and brought into your electronic medical records. In addition, as you hit print, you can also save this as a PDF file. If you save it as a PDF, a lot of the EMR systems will allow you to pull that PDF report into your electronic medical records so that there is no printing, no paper that's required. As always, if there's any questions, feel free to reach out to me, Mark Lobanoff. So that's mlobanoff@gmail.com. Thank you. So during this COVID outbreak, we've had a little extra time. We've done a lot of work at Forcities. There's actually one new, even more improved feature that I want to show you about the new Forcities surgical planning tool. Okay, so we know that as we're at the Alcon planning laptop computer, we're going to deselect certain Vario images that we do not think are of high enough quality. And on some of my other talks, you've seen how I use the MAD number to do this. But regardless, each time as you go through this, before you get to the Alcon Contura planning screen, you've got to eliminate these Vario images. The problem is it can be hard to keep track of this. So you might be planning your surgery cases for the next day. And the next day in surgery, you've got 10, 20 patients, and you may forget which of these Vario images that you have eliminated to create the topographic map you plan to treat off of. And so what I'm going to show you is the new feature in Forcities Cloud for the planning treatment that can help you keep track of which Vario images have been eliminated. So as we always do, we're calculating a treatment here for a patient. We're going to calculate the treatment. We're going to hit save. And the treatment's been saved both to the desktop and to the cloud. Once you've completed that treatment, it brings you back to the beginning screen in case you want to calculate the next patient. Here's where we're going to deviate a little bit. There's a button here that says Open on Cloud. So we've planned this patient's treatment. We're going to open on the cloud. As we click this button, it brings us up to the Forcities Cloud. It's going to ask me to log into my Forcities Cloud account. So I'm going to hit Login. And now this patient's report has been brought up, and what we are going to do is in this upper right-hand corner, we're going to hit Reports. As I hit Reports, it brings up the ability to create something called a surgical plan, so we want to click that. Now as you plan the surgical plan, if you've only planned a Contura treatment for the eye or a Wavefront optimized treatment for the eye, it will only give you one selection. But for this particular patient, I wanted to calculate both. I calculated a Wavefront optimized treatment and a Contura treatment for each of the two eyes using the Forcities calculator for WFO and the Forcities calculator for Contura. Forcities saved all these calculated treatments to the cloud, and I'm going to choose for the right eye a Wavefront optimized treatment. For the left eye, I'm going to use a Contura treatment. So I'm going to hit Run Report. Now, what we can see is the actual planned surgical plan that we're going to be working with. So for the right eye, we have our advised treatment. We know it's a Wavefront optimized treatment. We really don't have to do anything with the Vario scans because we're not using the Vario scans for the Wavefront optimized treatment. But on the left eye, we're doing a Contura treatment. First, we do need to set and let your staff know how are you going to make the flap. So I'm, in this case, going to use a Zemer. I'm going to choose a diameter of 9.0, and I'm doing 100 micron depth. I'm going to do the same type of flap over here on the left eye and choose. And now I've chosen that I'm using a Zemer laser, a 9.0 flap, 100 microns. We have our manifest refraction from the pre-op. On this on the left eye here, I have to choose the scans that we eliminated. So let's say we eliminated these two scans during our planning, or these three. I can click them, and you can see that they've been eliminated from the screen. Now, the nice thing is you can print this report. You can print it as onto paper as a printout and bring it into the OR with you. Or what I like to do is I will hit Print Report, but I'm going to save this as a PDF. And I can save this as the PDF to my desktop so that I can bring my personal laptop computer into the laser room with me, and I have every single patient's plan saved for that day. Now, as the technician who's going to be entering in this treatment into the laser pulls up each patient, they now know which scans to eliminate as they're putting the calculated treatment into the Wavelight laser. So this is a really nice new feature. Helps your staff stay in tune with what Vario scans were eliminated so that we know at the time of putting the treatment into the laser. That might be a day or 2 days or a week later. We know what scans were eliminated during the planning process. So hopefully this is a helpful tip. Everybody, Mark Lobanoff here. What I want to do is show you the newest feature in ForceCities, how we're using it here in our LASIK center and how it increases our efficiency. So most of us are on EMR systems, and one thing I got really tired with, I used to have all these paper charts here in the operating room, and it just really seems silly in the age where all of our medical records are on the computer. So what we want to do is show you how ForceCities can be brought into the LASIK suite itself. I've got the calculators up, so between cases you can always calculate new treatments using the ForceCities calculator. But this morning I already went through and calculated all my patients, and I used the new feature where we can print out treatment plans. So all my patients for the early morning have been planned out. You can save these, rather than print them out, which you always could, you can print them on a piece of paper, you can save them as a PDF file. And I just simply created a small folder on my desktop that says LASIK treatment plans. And I saved that PDF into the LASIK treatment plans folder. And so, let's say for the first patient coming up, I can click on that folder. It opens up in Adobe, and I just like throughout the morning to use what's called the read mode view. And you can see what this has done. It's pulled up that beautiful surgical plan here. I know that for the right eye, we're going to be treating Contura. We've got the ForceCities recommended treatment. I know I'm doing LASIK with the Xemer and my flaps, and I know what the patient's manifest refraction is. We're going to use that and compare it to what's going to come up on the treatment screen so that I know that what we've entered here in the laser is correct. We used to do this with a piece of paper. This is much cleaner, much more efficient, and can be saved into the EMR system. In addition, I can modify this before I save it. So as I'm going into ForceCities and I'm creating this treatment plan, I have the ability to make changes. So we're going to come out of here. I'm going to pull up just another patient. So we're going to pull up a different patient here, and I again just use the viewfinder for read mode here. This is a more complex patient. So this is a patient where I had initially put in a raindrop inlay that had to be removed. Now this patient wants monovision. I've been able to put that treatment plan right here so I can see that it's very legible. Everybody in the room knows exactly what we're doing. But we also have our treatment here. There's a way for an optimized plan treatment. Now, for this particular patient, this is a complex patient. So I might want to say, well, what did his testing look like? And what we can simply do is go into my EMR system. And for this particular patient, I'm interested in what his epithelial thickness map looks like. So we have that image. Through our EMR system, I can also pull up his Pentacam, his scans. So in real time here, rather than having the staff print out all these different images and all the different testing and all the different notes, it's right at my fingertips here. It's very efficient, clean, and everything gets saved. So this is one of the powerful new tools with ForceCities. Just wanted to show you how we're using it here at North Suburban LASIK Center.